podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show. I'm back. I was just with you guys for the NFL recap week 17 with Miami the Great, and now I'm back. Sorry, I'm just a few minutes late. I was watching the basketball game, so hope you guys had a super good Tuesday. It's like freezing cold here, like in the teens, but yeah, I hope you guys have had a good day. NXT went by so fast. It was like super fast. I did miss like the first 10 minutes because we went a little bit over on the NFL show. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed NXT tonight. I'm really like into NXT. I just started watching it about 5-6 months ago, and it's definitely my favorite show for sure now, for like 100%. And finally, we're back to the non-tape shows, which always helps, 100%. So, just letting everyone know that I'm live because we have no viewers right now. So I will let everyone know that I'm live. Sorry, I'm running late. Normally I'm like always on time, but it's okay. We have time. I don't have a whole lot going on tomorrow. I have no stream, so we can go over a little bit. But while we wait, hopefully we can get some people on. If not, then we will just carry on. Like I said, I am a few minutes late on the stream. I don't know what's going on with this glare. Sorry, I'm like super hairy. I need to shave bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So tonight is the last NXT of 2025. Starting next week. Obviously next week is New Year's Evil. Big show planned there. JC James is defending her NXT Championship against Kendall Gray. It looks like they're gonna do Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame again. Obviously Obafemi is defending against Leon Slater. And I believe they did announce another match, but I'll get to that. I have all the notes. So we're actually live tonight. Obviously taking place from the Performance Center, Orlando, Florida. The show opens up with Fatal Influences WWE, My Queen, the NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane. It's not the first match, but we're going to see her tonight in action against Ren Sinclair in a non-title match. Plus WWE North American Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, All Ego Ethan Page, will defend his WWE NXT North American Championship against TNA star The System's Moose from TNA. Which when I was cutting it on NXT after the NFL stream, obviously it was like right at the end of the Moose Ethan Page match. So I didn't get to catch all that. So I had to go back and see what was going on. So the show basically opened up with are the arrivals of Ricky Saints and Javon Evans. Obviously, that was our main event tonight. Ricky Saints has completely went heel, which I like him better now as a heel compared to the babyface. The commentators, as always, Vic Joseph and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. And as I said, the show kicked off with Moose going after the men's North American Championship 1-on-1 versus Ethan Page. So let's get into it. So WWE NXT North American Championship match. One half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship, All Ego Ethan Page, which he shared with the WWE Women's United States Champion on SmackDown, Chelsea Green, versus TNA Star of the System Moose. So the match starts off with Ethan Page attacking Moose during the introduction. The ref checked in with Moose. Ethan hits he misses, then he goes for the twisted grin and he actually misses. Moose hits a spear, but Ethan rolls to the floor. Moose then goes for a spear against the ring step, but Ethan moves and Moose hits the steps. Moose then pulls Ethan Page's shoulder into the ring post. Moose then runs into a boot, but Moose grabs Page on the turnbuckles. Page then hits a kick and a neck breaker. Page then kneels over Moose. We then take a look at Page hitting a super kick with Moose stuck in the ropes. So Moose then blocks a suplex, and Page keeps trying. Ethan Page hits an uppercut and a boot. Then Ethan Page goes for the suplex again, but Moose counters with one of his own. Moose then hits an uppercut in the corner, followed by an Uranagi and a back senton. Another game's kicking off tonight. Moose then runs into a back elbow, but he hits a power bomb as he pulls Ethan Page off the turnbuckles. Moose then gets a near fall. Moose then sets up for a power bomb, but he has trouble using his left arm, so Ethan Page escapes. Both men then exchange forearms. Moose then hits some chops, and Page hits a thrust kick. Ethan Page then hits some clotheslines, but Moose stays on his feet. Moose then hits a kick, and Ethan Page hits a clothesline and a code breaker for a near fall. Ethan hits then hits a headbutt. Moose hits a headbutt, that backs Ethan into the corner. Moose then misses a splash, but puts Page on the turnbuckle, and he drop kicks Page off the turnbuckle and onto the floor. Are we going to see a new NXT North American champion tonight? We'll see. Moose sets up for a spear against the ringside barrier, and both men go through the ringside barrier. Moose sends Page into the ring. Moose hits a spear, but he lands on his injured shoulder. Moose then pulls Page over on the cover, and Page is able to get his foot on the ropes to break the count before the 3. Moose then sets up for another spear, and Page rolls to the floor. Moose loves to hit the spear. It just seems like he tried to go for at least 5 or 6. Page back body drops Moose onto the ring steps. Page hits a frog splash for a near fall. Ethan Page then waits for Moose to get back to his feet. Page then hits a twisted grin for the 1, 2, 3, and still your NXT Men's North American Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, All Ego Ethan Page. He is absolutely on a roll. He's ready for the main roster, but I don't feel like there's any reason to call him up at this point in time because he's booming right now in NXT. So then, obviously, if you've been paying attention on X over the last couple of weeks, they were doing the NXT awards, end of the year awards, which I voted for JC Jane and almost all of them. Don't tell anybody about that. I don't. I do, but they did win one award for sure. That I saw. But like I said, I was paying attention back and forth to NXT and a basketball game. So the first award that they announced is we found out the male superstar of the year, and the winner is the young OG Javon Evans, which I think I actually voted for. I think I did vote for Javon. It was Javon or Oba. I mean, Javon's coming up to the main roster, so yeah, I definitely either voted for Javon or Oba. I don't know which one of those two that I did vote for, but I did vote for one of those two. Evan says he appreciates everyone for voting him. Evan says he didn't expect to win, but he got the W. Evan then says this was a crazy year for him. He says he main evented Stand and Deliver. He went to Mexico. He said he did MSG. He said it was a great year for him. Evans then said if you thought this year was wild, wait for 2026. So the 2025 NXT Male Superstar of the Year goes to the young OG Javon Evans. We then head to the back where Izzy Dame asked Shawn Spears and Nico Vance about the chainsaw. Izzy then says Tatum Paxley is delusional and they have to talk to her. Spears then says Izzy hasn't seen what he and Nico saw in Tatum. Izzy then says she will do it herself then. And then they like do a camera shot out to Kendall Gray was attacked in the back, which obviously we know that was fatal influence. Because JC Jane has a match with her, so of course, obviously, like she's definitely doing that. So we, like I said, we saw Kendall Gray. She's down in the back, and Ren Sinclair is calling for help. And obviously, who attacked? But we all know that it was Fatal Influence that attacked Kendall Gray. So we go to the next match of the night, which is Izzy Izzy Dame is now in the ring. It's not a match. That match is going to happen next Tuesday. Izzy Dame is now in the ring. Izzy says she never should have tried to do anything with Tatum because after one bad day, you are playing with your dolls. Izzy then says it is pretty sad. Izzy then says, for once in your lifetime, if you looked in the mirror, you will see the real reason for your problems. Izzy then says she had to break your heart and do it again at Deadline when she cost Tatum Paxley the NXT Women's Champion to my queen, JC Jane. Izzy says she did it, but Tatum went after Nico and Spears. Izzy then says, did you think that would solve your problem? Izzy then says, would that mend your broken heart and scare her? Izzy then says, you can't be fixed and nothing you can do will scare her. Izzy then says, you are proving her point that you are spiraling out of control. Izzy then says, she was never the problem. She was your cure. Izzy then says, she saved Tatum from rock bottom. And when you decided not to evolve, she sent Tatum back down. Tatum Paxley then makes her way down to the ring. So Izzy Dame told Tatum that she was never the villain in our story. She told her she was her cure, and she isn't apologizing for anything. Tatum tells Izzy she learned so much from her. Tatum then says, you say she wasn't listening, but she was. Tatum then says, you think she didn't care, but she did. Tatum then says she saw and felt everything. Tatum then says that is why she needs to say this to Izzy now. Tatum then says she is sorry that you are so insecure. Tatum then says you lost sight of who you are. Tatum then says you need to control people. Tatum then says that is a cop-out. Tatum says you say that she is weak and needs to look in the mirror. Tatum then says she knows that Izzy is too scared to do that. Tatum then says she doesn't need friends like Izzy. Tatum then says Tatum then says she needs friends who have been there since the start. Tatum then says she needs friends like all of them. So Tatum Paxley was telling Izzy Dane that she's sorry that she's so insecure. Tatum Paxley is finally speaking her truth. This story is just evolving and evolving. I've been saying this for weeks. I love the storyline and everything they're doing with that. Tatum then says you got her at deadline. Tatum says she is here to end it for her. Izzy then says you have been listening, but that is a lie. Izzy then says you will still be champion. Izzy then tells Tatum to continue to make her the bad guy. Izzy then says she will play games too. Izzy then asks Tatum what is next. Tatum says when it is her time and she is rotting in the dirt, the maggots will see the image of what she did to you at New Year's Evil. She then says, just you and me. Izzy then says that is fine if you want the pain and embarrassment of losing to her twice. Who is she to deny Tatum? She then says after that, playtime is over. Tatum then tells Izzy she is not in control. She then says it is not over until she says it is. Tatum then avoids a boot and hits a cemetery drive on Izzy Dane. So next week next Tuesday on NXT, we will see one-on-one for the second time. Izzy Dane going one-on-one with Tatum Paxley. So then we get to the next award of 2025 for NXT, and it is the Tag Team of the Year. And I definitely did vote for this team. So I think I voted for Fatal Influence. So the Tag Team of the Year is going to be Sol Ruka and Azaria. So congratulations to Sol Ruka and Azaria on winning the Tag Team of the Year. Sol says they have been together for over a year. Sol then says they have had ups and downs, but they are proud to be Tag Team of the Year. Zarya then says they are the strongest tag team in NXT. Zarya says they have gone everywhere and faced so many teams such as Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, so on and so forth. So your NXT Tag Team of the Year winners are Sol Ruka and Zarya. So congratulations to them. So then we get to see my queen. She's killing it tonight, strutting down there. Fatal Influence. She's accompanied. This is a non-title match. Going to be JC Jane, accompanied by the rest of Fatal Influence, going up one-on-one versus Ren Sinclair. JC was looking phenomenal tonight, by the way. I love her. Like, she is just killing it. Fallon Henley and was also there with her as well. The match starts off with both women locking up. JC gets a takedown and hits a shoulder tackle. JC hits a back senton and then starts dancing, and I'm dancing with her. So they then lock up, and JC pats Ren on the head on the break. She has some words for Ren Sinclair. Ren pushes JC away and then gets a couple of arm wringers, and she starts to work on JC Jane's shoulder. JC then gets to the ropes and sends Ren into the top rope. JC then sends Ren into the turnbuckles a few times. JC then hits some punches, and she chokes Ren in the corner. JC then hits a short arm clothesline for a near fall. JC then hits a kick to the back. Ren then Ren then gets a victory roll for a near fall. Ren then works on the arm and she goes for the Fujiwara armbar. Ren then hits some elbows to the arm. Ren then hits an uppercut to the arm and she kicks the elbow that she's working on JC Jane. Ren then hyperextends the arm and then hits a shoulder on JC. Ren then hits a shoulder tackle and a bulldog for a near fall. Ren then hits a back heel kick, but JC hits a super kick after Fallon Henley distracts Ren. JC then catapults Ren's throat into the middle rope. So the distraction of Fallon got JC back into control. Ren then rebounds with some forearm, but JC hits a neck breaker. JC then hits her famous kick. She tries to catapult Ren into the rope again, but Ren kicks JC away. Ren Sinclair then hits a drop toe hold to send JC into the ropes. Ren then hits a clothesline and then hits another flying clothesline. And she hits a butterfly suplex for a near fall on the NXT Women's Champion. She cinches in a waist lock, but JC reverses, hits a back elbow to escape. Ren then gets a back slide, but JC rolls through and hits a running knee, her famous running knee, for another near fall. Ren then hits a forearm and a leg sweep from the apron, and then hits a crossbody for a near fall again on the NXT Women's Champion. Ren then cinches in a cattle mutilation, and she walks around to add more pressure. Ren turns it into a Fujiwara armbar, but JC gets a roll-up for a near fall. Ren then gets a roll-up after avoiding a running knee. Then JC hits a rolling elbow for the 1-2-3. I couldn't believe that Ren kicked out of the first running knee from JC Jane. She put so many people away with that. She beat Stephanie Bakor with that move. So yeah. But the winner and still, well, it was non-title. But your winner in this non-title match, the queen of NXT, and she should have won more awards, JC Jane. And we will see her next Tuesday on New Year's Eve when she defends her Women's NXT Championship against the WWE Women's Evolved Champion, Kendall Gray. After the match, JC, Fallon Henley, and Lainey Reed attacked Ren Sinclair. And then Kendall, I guess, wasn't too beat up, makes her way down to the ring. She hits a super kick on JC and some forearms on Lainey and Fallon. Kendall then hits a German suplex on Lainey, and she puts JC into a cross arm breaker, and JC taps immediately, which, let's go back to Wrestling 101. The person standing tall the week before is usually not going to win. Kendall then holds a title belt while JC holds her elbow. I do not see a new women's NXT champion next week. Kendall stood tall tonight. I think that JC Jane will be retaining. So we go to the back. We see Joe Henry doing some voice exercises. Not the biggest Joe Henry fan, but he is a little bit comedic and funny at times. He makes his way down to the ring. Joe starts off by saying 2025 has been an amazing year for NXT and for him. Joe says he won the TNA World title, appeared at the Royal Rumble, wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and he slammed The Miz at Saturday night's main event. Joe then says he also joined NXT and he has a song about it. Joe then sings about NXT's successful women's division and how Javon Evans had a good year. Joe then makes sure to plug CW, the station that NXT is on, in his song. Joe then trash talks Trick Williams and calls Ricky Saints a bitch since he lost his title. Joe also sings about how no one knew who Dark State was until he made them famous. We then see Tony D in the upper part of the bleachers. Kind of reminded me like of the old Sting that just used to hang out in the Raptors. I love this character, the character development they're doing with Tony D. I can see him probably. I personally see him being the one that dethrones Oba before he comes up to the main roster. Um, the lights go out for Dark State. The lights go out. Dark State make their way out. That they then come to the ring and Joe has a chair. Griffin attacks Joe from behind and is a 4-on-1 attack. They then set up for the toss quad powerbomb and hit it on Joe Henry. So Dark State come and crashed the concert and destroyed Joe Henry. There must be like a show or something going on. I don't have hardly anyone here tonight, but we're going to continue. We're going to keep rocking. We then head to the back where Ava asks Robert Stone to make sure the awards are ready. Ava then enters her office and wonders why the door is open. She then sees a distraught, broken down, crying on Blake Monroe in the office and wants to know what is wrong. Blake then asks for a different referee, which also next week on NXT New Year's Evil, Dia Hell will defend the Women's North American Championship against Blake Monroe. Ava then says she cannot guarantee it, but she will do her best. Ava then says the Glamour needs to come back if she wants to win, and she knows she has it in her. And Blake leaves the office. Blake Monroe needs to snap out of it and try to get that title back next week. We then get picks for the Oba Femi Leon Slater match at New Year's Evil. I have Oba Femi winning that match next week. I don't think he's dropping the title to Leon Slater. I do think it's going to be someone like a Tony D or somebody like that. Before I think Oba's going to hold it a little bit longer before he comes up. So we're getting ready for the finals of the Speed Tournament, WWE Men's Speed Tournament, to determine the number one contender to face the WWE Men's Speed Champion, LFG Season 1, Men's Season 1 winner, Jasper Choi. Tavion Heights going one-on-one versus Lexus King, otherwise known as Brian Pillman's son, which some people don't know who Brian Pillman is, but he was one of my favorites back in the day. Tavion Heights makes his way down to the ring. The match starts off with Tavion hitting a belly to... This was a super quick match. Tavion hit a belly-to-belly suplex for the 1, 2, 3, and the match didn't even last like a minute. The winner and the new number one contender to the WWE Men's Speed Championship is Tavion Heights. So Tavion Heights will be going one-on-one with Jasper Choi for that Speed Championship. After the match, King says he wasn't ready and complains, and there was no lockup. Jasper Choi then appears in the aisleway. So Jasper Choi will defend the WWE Speed Championship against Tavion Heights. So we get to the next award of the night, which was Match of the Year for NXT. We then see what match won Match of the Year. And the winner is the Stand and Deliver match between Oba Femi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. So congratulations to Oba, Trick, and Javon on their match from Stand and Deliver. That is the Match of the Year. Definitely didn't vote for that one. We then head to the back where we see Ricky Saint pacing in his room. Vanity Project then make their way down to the ring for their next match of the night, followed by their opponents for the night, OTM. So we're going to have the Vanity Project Swipe Right, Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor versus OTM, Lucian Price and Bronco Nima. So the match starts off with Brad and Price, and Brad hits some kicks to the leg. Ricky distracts Price, and Brad hits a punch. Price then tosses Ricky over the top turnbuckle and he tosses Brad into the turnbuckles as well. Price hits a shoulder tackle on Ricky, and Nima gets a hot tag in. They hit a double back elbow, and Nima hits a clothesline for a near fall. Neiman then hits a forearm to the back. Neiman then hits an Irish whip and a splash into the corner. Ricky then escapes a slam attempt and applies a side headlock. Neiman then tosses Ricky away. Brad then tags in and he hits a backbreaker on his shoulder. Price then tags in and he gets a near fall. Price then hits a knee to the midsection and Neiman hits a forearm. Drake then stops Neiman on the apron and Neiman pulls him into the ring. Neiman hits a chop block and Brad hits a DDT for a near fall. Brad then hits a forearm to the chest. Ricky then tags in. Brad then gets on Neiman's back and Ricky hits some kicks. Brad then tags in and Ricky drop kicks Price off the apron. Brad then hits a splash for a near fall. Brad then sets up for a suplex and Neiman hits a gourd buster. Ricky gets the hot tag in and Price hits some clotheslines. Price then hits a chop on Brad and he clotheslines each man into the corner. Price, my computer's like, I'm gonna have to start doing it in the living room. Price then hits a Uranagi on Drake. Neiman tags in and Price hits a super kick on Brad and they hit an assisted power slam for the 1, 2, 3. A message has been sent. The OTM just put the entire NXT tag team division on notice. The winners of the match, the tag team match, OTM, Lucy and Price and Bronco Nima. I can see them challenging soon for the NXT Men's Tag Team Championship. So after that, we head to the back where we see Jordynne Grace and Thea Hill in the locker room. Grace says she liked the celebration until Blake Monroe ruined the moment. Thea then says you can't let the negativity affect her. Thea then asks Grace to be in her corner at New Year's Evil. Oh, wow. Thea then says she knows that Grace wants to do it. Thea then says she knows Grace wants to see Blake cry again. Thea then hugs Grace, and Grace is not so happy about it. So I'm thinking we're going to see a heel turn from Jordynne Grace. Nothing else is really working for her at this point. She should have already been called up. Jordynne may be the one to end up costing Thea Hill in this match is what I think is going to happen. Because they had to scramble storyline-wise because Thea was not even supposed to win the title back a few weeks ago anyway. So we'll see. Jordynne Grace will be in Thea Hill's corner, but I don't think that Thea Hill's retaining. So, racking up the awards and soon heading up to the main roster, we get to the female superstar of the year for NXT, and the winner is none other than Sol Ruca. I love Sol. She's my second favorite. I did vote for Jacy Jayne, but I figured Sol would probably win. Sol said it's been one hell of a year. She then says she is stoked to be the female superstar of the year. She mentioned that she won 2 titles. Sol then says she was successful in singles work as well as part of a tag team with Zarya. Sol says 2026 will be the biggest and best year ever. So congratulations to Sol Ruca for winning the 2025 NXT Female Superstar of the Year. So we're getting ready for the main event of the evening, which is going to be the young OG, Javon Evans, going one-on-one with Ricky, the Absolute Saints. So Javon makes his way down to the ring first, followed by Ricky Saints. Really good match here, banger match. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. It must be another stream going on or something, or space or something, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. Show has to go on the road. So hopefully you guys are able to go back and watch the stream later on. So the match starts off with Javon attacking Ricky as he enters the ring. Ricky then hits a chop and a forearm. Evans then hits a chop and some punches. Ricky hits a kick and Evans hits a slingshot into a waistlock. Ricky then blocks a suplex and Ricky hits an elbow. Evans then hits a suplex and he hits a thrust kick for a near fall. Evans then hits an Irish whip and Ricky hits a drop kick to the knee of Javon Evans. Ricky continues to work on the injured leg with kicks to the hamstring, and he stomps on the leg. Ricky then hits a body slam. Ricky slams Evans into the ropes. I did see Fatal Influence win an award tonight. I don't know. I think it was Faction of the Year. The Fatal Influence won. So they did win an award tonight. My Queen did win an award. She should have won more, but she did win an award. Ricky then slams Evans into the ropes. Ricky clips Evans and kicks him in the back. He goes to the turnbuckles and he comes off into a boot from Javon. Javon then hits some punches and Ricky hits a kick to the legs. Ricky sends Javon to the floor, and then he follows after him and sends Javon into the ringside barrier. Ricky then sends Evans into the announce desk many times. They then return to the ring. Evans hits a punch that sends Ricky to the floor. Evans then hits a plancha and he sends Ricky back into the ring. Ricky then goes to the floor in front of the announce desk. Evans then goes to the floor and he limps to send Ricky into the ringside barrier and announce desk. Evans then punches Ricky onto the announce desk. Javon is yelling at Ricky and sends him back into the ring. Evans goes for a springboard move and he hits a springboard clothesline for a near fall on Ricky Saints. So then Ricky, back in control, sends Javon into the ropes and he slams Evans' throat into the edge of the apron. Ricky then cinches in a front face lock and then hits the guillotine. Javon then gets a second win. He hits a suplex to escape. Ricky blocks a kick, but Javon hits a super kick and a Superman punch. Oh, courtesy Roman Reigns move. Evans then hits a rebound spinning round kick for a near fall. Ricky Saints kicked out. Ricky then hits a boot to the head, and Evans avoids a tornado DDT. Evans then goes for a tornado DDT and hits it. Evans goes up top. He hits a flying knee and gets another near fall on the absolute Ricky Saints. Evans then goes up top and he goes for a frog splash but lands on Ricky's knees. Ricky then hits a tiger driver for a near fall. Ricky then goes to the floor and he plays with the hood of the announce desk. That indecision allowed Evans to hit a suicide dive over the announce desk. Crazy move by Javon. Javon also goes up top and he hits a frog splash for another near fall. Ricky Saints is hanging in there. The shirt comes off and Ricky kicks the ropes. When Evan goes for a springboard move, the referee then sees Ricky's feet on the rope, so he stops the count. Ricky then hits a spear for a near fall. Then he hits a tornado DDT, another near fall. Ricky then throws his elbow pad at Evans for kicking out at 1. Ricky then hits a kick and goes for a Rochambeau, but Evans escapes. Ricky then avoids a clothesline and Evans hits a cutter. Evans then goes up top for the double jump cutter and he hits the referee instead of Ricky Saints. Ricky then hits a kick to the, in between the nether region. And then Ricky slaps Evans and he hits the Rochambeau for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner is the absolute Ricky Saints in a very heelish way. After the match, Ricky Saints celebrates his win and stands tall over Evans as the show comes to a close. So we saw a lot of awards tonight. Congratulations to all that won an award. This is setting up next week. This was the last NXT of 2025. Hope you guys enjoyed the full year of NXT 2025. I'm sure 2026 is going to be even better. Next week on NXT New Year's Evil, we're going to see JC Jane defend the Women's NXT Championship against Kendall Gray. Obafemi defends his Men's NXT Championship against Leon Slater. Thea Hale will defend her Women's North American Championship against Blake Monroe. And then we will see Tatum Paxley go one-on-one versus Izzy Dame. And that is all next week on NXT's first episode of 2026, and it's New Year's Evil, and I will be back after that to cover everything that happened on that show. I'm not doing a prediction show because it's on a live televised program, but I will be recapping that show. So yes, I've just started watching NXT about 5 or 6 months ago. I'm very into it now, so I'm enjoying that. I'm not enjoying that NXT is coming to an end of 2025, but I'm looking forward to what they have in store for 2026. So before we go, I'm going to shout out to everyone from DWE, the CEO, Miami the Great, Final Boss Baby, Director Reg, World of Greg. Thank you for the videos and everything. Leading up to the NFL and the NXT recap today. And shout out to Gimmick Table Media, Wrestling Divas Podcast, kicking out at 2 after the Slam Podcast, and everyone else. I do want to tell everyone, be safe out there. It is getting crazier and crazier by the day. And I want everyone to have a happy New Year's Eve and happy New Year's Day. As I will be off for the next 2 days. You guys will not see me. But shout out to everyone. I hope you guys enjoy your New Year's. Make a wish. 2026 is our year. Let's own it right now. Let's claim it. 2026 is going to be our year. We have 26 on there for 2026. So looking forward to what's in store for the EVP show for 2026. A lot of big things coming. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I am going to send you to my outro, and then I will tell you where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up the rest of this week, next week, and for the rest of the month.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, yes, loving the new outro, intro, bringing in the new year. Once again, I hope everyone has a happy New Year's Eve and happy New Year. Shout out to everyone affiliated with DWE and Gimmick Table Media. 2026, we are going to have a monster year. As far as where you can find me on my socials, you can see at the bottom of the background. You can find me on X. Obviously, if you're living under a rock, I'm on X all the time, promoting, doing everything having to do with this channel. You can find me on X at the EVPCJP. Also very active on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at EVPCJP as well. I just recently started promoting a lot on TikTok. If you're looking for me on TikTok, you can find me at Brady DA, not THE, at Brady DA Goat 21. And most importantly, last but not least, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can find my YouTube channel at the EVP Show in all capitals. It's up in the top right hand corner and at the bottom screen at the EVP Show in all capital letters. I didn't have a big crowd in here tonight, and that's okay. But if you guys do go back and watch the stream, please hit that like button on the stream and send me some comments, and I definitely will respond to you guys' comments as I see them when I'm going back in to make the clips and everything. You know, the shorts and stuff from tonight's show. I did see some previous comments from some of the shorts and stuff like that. But obviously, you know, if you guys go, it helps put my stream, my channel, and the algorithm. I get the watch hours. I get more eyes and ears on this channel. get that way I can get more subs and this channel can continue to grow, because that's what it's all about, is continuing to grow. Everybody wants to continue to grow. If you're not having fun, you're not trying to grow, then what are you doing here? But yeah, those are the socials that you can find me on. What I have coming up, like I said, hope you guys enjoy your New Year's. Tomorrow, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day, Thursday. I will be back Friday night for a new start time for the EVP SmackDown Recap Show. I will be going live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern instead of 10:30 p.m. Eastern, because SmackDown is moving to 3 hours starting Friday. So make sure you set that reminder, hit that notification bell to remind you. It will be at 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And as Miami mentioned on NFL, DW Radio will be back Saturday. So you make sure you guys tune into that. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff planned, a lot of stuff cooking in the works. I'm not even on Twitch right now. I'm gonna have to, and I have so many platforms to have to deal with. I'm gonna end up having to get Twitch. But Sunday, this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern is going to be the debut of the new show coming to DWE by me. I ran it by Miami last week. I was supposed to do it last year, but he's like, "All right, let's rock and roll with it." I was gonna do it last Sunday, but I put it off to this Sunday. This Sunday at 6 p.m. at 6 p.m. Eastern. It is called the Sunday Scoops with the EVP, and it will be a weekly episodic show on the EVP show every Sunday, unless there's a PLE. If there's a PLE, then we may not do it. And how that's going to work is because so many of you guys message me on X for spoilers and scoops and everything like that. I am going to go live Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will open up and give you guys the information I have for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the show. And then everyone that's in the comments, if you want to come into the stream from X and ask your comments, whether it's through Twitter or through YouTube, I will answer them on the stream. I will not be doing a whole lot of answering scoops or spoilers or anything like that through DMs anymore. That's why the show is being made. So tune in Sunday for the first episode of Sunday Scoops with the EVP at 6 p.m. Eastern. Next week, pretty much the same thing. Monday, I'll be back at 11 p.m. Eastern for the anniversary Raw on Netflix at 11 p.m. Eastern Monday on the EVP show. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, again, me and Miami the Great are back to cover the last regular season week of the NFL Week 18. And then later on that night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be live again to cover the first episode of NXT next Tuesday and cover and break down all the great matches that will take place at New Year's Evil next Tuesday. And then next Friday, it is 3 Stages of Hell with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. I'm probably still going to run my stream. I know it's going to be in Germany, probably going to be aired earlier, but the stream is still going to be set for 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't have my thumbnail out for it yet, but same time, same place. We will be covering the Universal Heavyweight Championship match and the January 9th SmackDown 3-hour SmackDown with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. And then 2 days later, I will be back on January 11th for the second episode of Sunday Scoops at 6 p.m. Eastern. So a lot of content pumping in and out, Also, a couple more announcements. LFG Season 3 is rapidly approaching. I covered a little bit of Season 1, a half of Season 2. I plan on covering the whole entire Season 3 of LFG. And then January 20th on Netflix, you can catch WWE Unreal. And I don't know when I will be doing a stream on that. But once I watch it, all 5 episodes, I will not be doing a pre-record. I will be doing a Unreal Season 2 recap show. It may go 2 hours because it's 5 episodes I have to cover, but I will try to shorten it up as much as possible. So yeah, that you guys can tune into that on Netflix on January 20th. But like I said, once again, thank you guys for showing up tonight. The ones that did show up. If you didn't or wasn't able to show up, please go back and watch the stream on YouTube. Look for some shorts to come out, maybe tomorrow or when Miami gets a chance to get them out for me. Hope you guys have a happy new year. God bless everyone. And I will see you guys back for the first 3-hour SmackDown. Not first 3-hour SmackDown, but I will see you guys Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Not 10:30, 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the first SmackDown of 2026 for the EVP Show SmackDown recap. With that being said, a little bit of this for you guys. I will see you guys Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap, covering the first 3-hour SmackDown. Hopefully it should be a good one. But I'm definitely looking forward to the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you guys enjoy tomorrow and Thursday. I know I will, and I will see you guys Friday night. Set that bell, hit that notification, hit the like, and subscribe to the EVP show. And give me a like on the video tonight and some comments, and I will answer you guys. Much love to DWE and Gaming Table Media, and I will see you guys Friday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE, and I am out. Happy New Year, everyone.